Morning guys, just woke up, having a coffee, lovely. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about computer security. The most important part of your computer security is going to be, hang on, I've got some music going here, some Madonna's going on. Right, goodbye Madonna. The most important part of your computer security is going to be your router. I'm telling you that it is the most important point. And the reason for this is because the company that gave you your Wi-Fi router, it's most likely, in fact I bet 99.9% it's absolutely useless and has zero security. So firstly, you're going to need to buy yourself a new router, get a good one, and learn what details are used on your existing router so that you can copy the elements that you need to get back into your internet service provider. Anyway, any router is accessible but via an IP address or a port scan if they don't have the IP address, and 99% of the time the password is just admin, or just admin. And if anyone finds a router in your home or in your business like this, they own you. They own your entire computer network. They own every bit of data you've got. They can lock you out of your system. They can do absolutely anything. They could probably take your entire company just from this one thing. So this is pretty serious fucking business. You know, they can access any PC system, any business phone, anything on your network. So this is what we're going to do. Get yourself your new router. Firstly, we're going to run ourselves a port scan because there's a lot of open ports that we need to turn off. Plug and play, telnet, HNAP, remote access. These words should be ringing warning bells with you immediately because these are all major entry points for any hacker. Turn off or secure your SSH extremely well with good passwords, obviously. Port scan your router again to check for entry points. Make sure your IPv6 is off. This is the other major problem. It's called WPS. Yes, it's called push button WPS. It's the thing where you just push a button on your router and then you push a button on your device and they are connected. Well, guess what? These things are secured by a 4-digit number or an 8-digit number. So anyone running Kali Linux can just brute force their way into your router just by guessing a 4 to 8-digit number, and this is easy. I mean, this can be done in a matter of hours easily, or just sat by running a PC for a day. So make sure your WPS is off. Next thing, your SSID. Your SSID is actually broadcasting that your router exists. Not only is it broadcasting that your router exists, but it's also telling people the make and model, so they're going to know how to attack it and what weaknesses it's got. Again, you shouldn't actually have Wi-Fi on at all. If you can just use Ethernet and completely turn off Wi-Fi, I know it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but that's the safest way to do it. If you're running a business, there's no way I'd be running Wi-Fi at all, ever. The other way that people can get into Wi-Fi is something called capturing the handshake. Now what this does is it sends a de-authentication packet to your router so suddenly you'll get knocked offline and your computer will automatically try to reconnect to the router. When it does this, the hacker has a piece of software running which captures the handshake. So it essentially captures your encrypted code, and again they can mimic it, and they've got access to your router again, change your admin, and they've just locked you out and they own your entire business and system. It's that easy. The other problem is a lot of routers, they don't use HTTPS all the time, so they're not always encrypted. If you can always be encrypted, then make sure you set that up on your router. If you're not doing that, then someone with a scanner such as Wireshark can see any unencrypted data that you are transmitting through the air via your Wi-Fi. So guys, just get yourself an Ethernet cable. You really need to if you're running a business. Don't use your standard IP addresses. Pick some more obscure ones. Don't use your standard 2.4 gigahertz. If you do use Wi-Fi, pick something like 5 gigahertz because it's got a less of a range on it, which means you're less likely to be attacked via a war driver or someone with a ranged what do they call it, a ranged antenna. Like someone with a good ranged antenna can actually hack you from multiple miles away. So yeah, be very careful of that. This is one that you might not be allowed to do, but it does help you. Forge your MAC address on your router. Some ISPs don't allow it, some banks don't allow it. You can get some trouble with it, but if you can, run MAC Changer, forge your MAC address. Turn your router off when not in use. Always turn your router off when not in use. This also resets your IP address, so that's going to help you. What else have we got here? Yeah, obviously run your port scan, make sure everything's off. You want ping off, you want telnet off, you want remote access off. Good God, you want all those off. Use a password with at least 14 symbols, numbers, digits, capitals, and use a lot of symbols in this, because this is important, because that way people can't brute force your password. The other thing is, check your router regularly for firmware updates and update your firmware, because these security updates, they're not often known about in the router world unless you go and check your router website manually often. So yeah, do that and update your firmware. Any other advice I can give you? Yeah, change your router's domain name system, your DNS, from your ISP's one, and you can use one such as OpenDNS or the public Google DNS. Oh yes, and finally, of course, use a virtual private network, a VPN. Connect to a VPN, because what this does is it creates an encrypted tunnel between your router and someone else's computer system network, and that is going to be the most effective protection against any hacking that you can possibly get, because they've got to hack someone else's network, which is sending an encrypted tunnel to you to even start to get to you, so it makes it very difficult for them to hack you. So yeah, VPNs very cheap. You can buy them probably $5 a month or less nowadays, so get yourself a VPN, guys. Hope that helps, especially if you're running a business. Take my advice on this, I promise you, unless you want to lose your business.